This is AC Starlord, aka Awesome. Welcome back to my channel. And it might be seem kind of weird that I'm behind some soda bottles that are from, believe, Puerto Rico or Mexico, whatever. Didn't know his thing's Mexico. This is from the Hulk movie, the Incredible Hulk movie from 2008. And this is one of the cameos that Stan Lee was in. And one of these bottles of soda that he bought had a trace of Gamma Ray blood in it, which was also Bruce Banner's blood, and we'll get into that. So this movie is a really good movie. I haven't done a review for this, and the reason why I'm doing a review for this because I am going to eventually give you guys your Captain America Brave New World review, but I have to go see that movie again because I saw it on the opening day on Valentine's Day, but there's so much in it. I want to rewatch it and give you guys a proper review. I'm not like those other YouTubers that are going to do it right away and boom, 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 boom. I want to give you a proper one. So there's some Easter eggs from Captain America Brave New World in here, two of them. And pretty much this whole movie is pretty much an Easter egg for that movie in a sense, in a way. But this also was developed way before this movie. But everyone's saying Captain America Brave New World is pretty much a direct sequel from this. So this movie goes pretty much kind of where it left off from the Hulk movie. Now, I am also going to do a review for that for just for fun, but the Hulk movie, the very first Hulk movie, did not do very well, so they just scrapped that one. Even though they scrapped it and made this one, and they show you a backstory behind. Um, they show you a backstory behind the how Bruce Banner got his powers and all that stuff with Betty Ross. And Betty Ross is also an Easter egg from Captain America: Brave New World because she's in the movie as well. And he did test on himself, and then it shows that he became the Hulk and beat up the people inside the lab, including Betty and Thaddeus Ross, aka General in this one, aka President in the other in the Captain America. Um, and then he goes off to Mexico, and then he works in a soda factory. And then he tries to keep on the low, and he's talking to a guy named Mr. Blue. He's Mr. Green, and Mr. Blue ends up being the leader from Captain America. Now you're gonna hear me say Captain America a lot because well, Captain America has these characters from this movie in there, so bear with me. Um, and as he's working in the Source Factory, he's protecting a woman. He's protecting as he's in the Source Factory, he's working as a janitor kind of thing. Not even a factory worker, just as a janitor, and then um 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 one of the guys in Spanish told him help me fix this conveyor belt. He fixes the conveyor belt and he cuts himself on one of those wires and tells him to stop the conveyor belt. A trace of his blood goes on the conveyor belt and he sees that and he wipes it off, but he doesn't see that's in one of these soda bottles. And then there was a report of a guy, local guy, drinking this soda right here and um got sick from it. Of course, it's a famous cameo of Stan Lee, and you don't get that in Captain America anymore because he's not alive. They could at least have someone from Marvel Studio, the Marvel. Here's the thing. Side note, they at least could have someone from the Marvel comic books office fill in a cameo uh for their studio for their comics as Stan Lee did, but or someone from the Stan Lee family. That's a side note. Those balls went shipped out. He got sick, and then that's what Thaddeus Thunderbolt Ross comes in. He ends up he ends up knowing who instantly who that is. They track him down to Mexico. He escapes from Mexico, goes to I don't know if it's I think it's New York. I think the first one is Boston, then New York, but I'm not really sure. The This movie was from Universal, so they could have used Boston as New York, but I don't know. He goes tracks down Betty. As he's tracking down Betty, he meets up with the pizza man that he knew from when he was dating Betty and let him stay there. And then he gets a job as a pizza guy, gives a pizza to also a reference to the original Hulk TV show. And it's Luke Ferrigno. Also, Luke Ferrigno was also in the first Hulk movie. So he was in two movies, in Incredible Hulk and the Hulk. But of course, back then the TV show there was just the Hulk. So it's like, well, the TV show thing was Incredible Hulk, but it was just, you know, Luke Ferrigno played the Hulk, so that's why he has cameos in both movies. But he gives him pizza. So Bruce and Peter Parker have something in common in the early MCU movies. Back then, they weren't saying that it was a cinematic universe, but they weren't saying this is MCU. They weren't like it's Universal, and then I think Sony was it Universal and Fox. Universal and Fox were completely two different things, but you get what I'm saying. You get what I'm saying. You get that you have two characters working for pizza companies, but Bruce is going to do that so he can get into the lab, so you can give the computer lab guy some pizza so you can talk to Mr. Blue and talk about his plans, and then Betty ends up seeing him at the pizza place, and then Betty and Bruce go on the run, and then we meet the guy who's eventually going to play Abomination. Abomination gets ejected by Thaddeus Ross by the Super Soldier Serum, and there's your first Easter egg from the Captain America movies from now until we get Brave New World. Now, it might blow your mind at the end of this review, who I'm going to say. The Super Soldier Serum was given to the guy who's playing Abomination so he can keep up with the Hulk. And then they corner the Hulk where Betty's uh, university's at, where she works at. And then, of course, that's her dad. She tries to stop her dad, tanks and all stuff like that. And then he goes full Hulk. And then that guy chases after him because he's Super Soldier Serum. And then Hulk kind of like pushes him onto the ground with his foot. And then he ends up being okay. He goes to the hospital, ends up being okay. He gets bones and all stuff messed up, ends up being okay. But then they end up giving him another serum that's sort of like Bruce Banner's blood, and he kind of has already becoming a form of abomination. And then leads up to the last half of this movie where they fight in New York City. Then so they meet eventually. They go on the run. Betty and Bruce go on the run and leads up to the last part of the movie. Meets up with Mr. Blue. He does shows him how he becomes the Hulk and gets some of his blood, and then they say, "Oh, we can." And then the leader guy who plays leader, and the same guy who plays the leader in this movie plays the leader in Captain America: Brave New World, and he's like, "Oh, we can cure cancer. We can cure all these illnesses." And as they as he's talking, like, "No, we have to destroy all this." The military is there, and then eventually, um, they have to be on the run again, and then the guy who's playing the guy who's going to be Abomination grabs the leader, says like, "I want more of this." He turns him into the Abomination, and then he's like, "Oh, if I put you back on the table, this is a misunderstanding. I can put you back on the table and all that stuff." And then he knocks him out. The blood of Bruce Banner's blood is in a container. The little drip of it is on the bottle of that and drops on his head, and he becomes a leader. And that's the last time you see the leader until you see him in Captain America: Brave New World. And then you get Abomination. Abomination's going around destroying thing, and then you get the final battle of Abomination and the Hulk, Bruce Banner, and then Bruce Banner goes off and does his own thing in a different part of the country, a British country, but they have a big giant Hulk Abomination fight, and yeah, there's that, and then there's the other Easter egg. The other Easter egg is when he was talking, the leader was talking about Mr. Blue, aka leader, was talking about we can condense this into a pill form or something to calm down your the way you become the Hulk, or you know, contain it somehow. So he was talking about making it somehow, contain it somehow, or make a ways where you can keep the radiation, the gamma ray, the gamma rays, the gamma radiation in your body without turning into the Hulk, and that's what he does in Captain America. I don't want to give out too much. That's what he does in Captain America: Brave New World. He gives makes a pill and gives it to Thaddeus Ross. Now, Thaddeus Ross, aka Thunderbolt Ross, that's something I would love to see, even though in this movie Thunderbolt Ross was not played by Harrison Ford. And then the very end of this video, like I said, they Tony Stark comes in there and is like, we're forming a team together, meaning the Avengers, meaning that after that we got the Avengers movies, and then we got um, Mark Buffalo to play the Thor, play Mark Buffalo played the Hulk because um, Edward Norton got an argument with them on set and stuff like that, and then they don't want to work with him. It was going to be Edward Norton to play the Hulk and the Avengers, but they got Mark Buffalo, and that's where it has been ever since. This is a really good movie as well, but there's those two main Easter eggs, and then you got Thunderbolt Ross. That's also an Easter egg because it becomes the president, not the general anymore. And this one he was a general. You get Betty Ross was also in Captain America. That's a major Easter egg. Um, just the fact that Red Hulk's in that movie, that's actually a straight up Easter egg to just the Hulk in general. Um, the leader is also a Easter egg, but in this movie he was called Mr. Blue. Um, Abomination was in She-Hulk, but that's a different story. But you get my point. Um, the central characters, leader, Thaddeus, Ross, Betty, and talking about when he was going to contain the gamma ray. That's all an Easter egg for Captain America. But pretty much Captain America is pretty much a sequel to this movie, kind of in a way. So really, I kind of gave you guys a little review for Captain America, but not too much. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Um, and this movie is a pretty cool movie. I enjoy it. I love it. Um, I loved it more than the first Hulk movie. When I was a kid, the first Hulk movie was amazing and jumped on sand dunes. But as I rewatched it as like a teenager, it was pretty laughable, pretty funny. But I still want to watch this. I still want to rewatch it. But this is my review for The Incredible Hulk. I don't think I ever did one on here. And then the next one would be Captain America, and then the monkey, or it might be the monkey and then Captain America. But it doesn't really matter. You would get some type of form of entertainment. But here you go. And if you like this video, put a like, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and deuces.